The Livestream Code and Rating Administration has rated this online event PG. All ages admitted. Please be kind and stay on topic.
Good evening. Welcome to the Good Stuff Live. My name is Dave Sundstrom. And if you enjoy talking about music, movies, mostly TV from decades gone by, you've come to the right place. Tonight, we're focusing on 1980. So we're going to talk about movies from 1980, TV shows from 1980, top events from 1980. And I'm going to ask all of you to share your memories about that wonderful year. At least I thought it was a pretty darn good year. And then at the very end of the evening, we will have a 5-question mini trivia quiz about television in 1980. I think many of you are going to do very well on this quiz, but there's a couple tougher questions. And oh yes, we will be giving away a copy of Retro Fan Magazine. Those of you that know about Retro Fan Magazine, you know what a special publication this is. And the good folks over at Tomorrow's Publications continue to support this channel and my live streams by allowing me to give away copies of their magazine during these live streams. So we'll do that a little bit later as well. But first and foremost, I want to say, well, a huge thank you to Lance Chaffin, who dropped a super chat prior to the start of the live stream. That makes him tonight's executive producer. Thank you so much, Lance. I appreciate your super chat and, of course, all of your support. Highly, highly appreciated. Yep, that's just about how excited I get when someone drops a super chat. So thank you very much, Lance. Appreciate your support. I want to say hello to everyone that's here. So let me go ahead and take this off the screen. Let's go over to the comments and let's see if we can quickly work through the comments. Gary Carpenter, good to have you here. Lance, thank you for the channel member, I should say, Lance Chaffin. Thank you for, in addition to the Diet Coke, the birthday wishes. Appreciate that. Let's see. Jerry Gillespie, thank you as well, my friend. Danny Staten, greetings to South Carolina from Kaysville, Utah. Let's see who else we have here. Channel member Keith E. is in the house. We've got Butch Schompf here. And channel member Angela McArdle. David C. Let's see, keep scrolling. Tom McCluskey is here as well. Mike Silva, welcome to the live stream tonight. Such great conversation. I can't wait to read all of this later. Certainly can't read it right now. David Thomas, welcome to the live stream. Good to have you here with us. Channel member Tracy Rothmeyers, welcome. Good to have you here. Channel member Superplex. Let's see. Adrian James, great to have you here as well. Fun to see your name in the chat. Karen Lee Maloney, welcome. Hopefully we have a fun conversation tonight. Pat McCormick, welcome to the live stream as well, my friend. Good luck this weekend with your reunion performances with your former band. Let's see, who else do we have here? Channel member RRT 2001, welcome. Channel member Justin Eilert, good to have you here. Texas Gina, welcome. Daryl Russell, good to have you here tonight. Gloop Trekker, that's a great username. Ravenscroft 82 is here with us as well. Let's see. I'm almost caught up. I'm only 3 minutes behind now. Melissa Foster. Let's see who else. BK on the air. Barry King. He's already sharing his favorite movie. That would be my favorite movie as well. The Empire Strikes Back. favorite movie from 1980, we should say. David C. sharing his favorite movie, Airplane. We'll get to that in a bit, so I don't want to do too much of that yet. Raja, 1938. I Am Tisdale. Flynn Hire, 444. Wajameen. So many great, names that I recognize. It's fun to see everyone here today. I'm going to miss some folks. Alo Duarte, welcome. Good to have you here. The channel member Lisa Fields, welcome. Johnny Burnett, Point Blank Period. I think that's about it. Now we'll, as we go on, I'll continue to pull comments up. Of course, I always pull up super chats, but at various points in the evening when I ask a question, I'll pull up your comments and I will share them. And so if I miss someone, that's a chance for me to say hello to you there at that time. But 1980, huge year for me, and lots going on in the world. Oh, one other thing real quick. I have posted at the top of the chat. You can see there's a link to a SpeakPipe tool. It's an online tool that allows you to leave messages. If you want to share your favorite 1980s memory there, please do so. I'm going to share those during the live stream. So it's kind of fun, right? Hear your own voice on the live stream. Different way of sharing a memory. So if you'd like to do that, feel free to do that. And I'll play those voice messages, those voicemails in just a little bit. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Let's do this. I want to talk about events first. Let's kind of set the stage for 1980. What was going on in 1980? There was an awful lot. And there's one thing that I think about that kind of heads and tails above all else. And let me go ahead and pull a clip up of it, and then we'll go from there.
Good evening from CBS News. This is Newsbreak. John Lennon always drew a crowd. He still does. This evening, nearly 24 hours after he was shot and killed, a crowd is gathered where the murder took place on Manhattan's West Side. The man charged with killing Lennon is 25-year-old Mark David Chapman. He grew up in Decatur, Georgia, and lived and worked in Hawaii. A devout Beatles fan, it was said. Chapman worked as a security guard in Hawaii, and on his last day at work signed out with the signature, John Lennon. Chapman, arrested at the scene of the crime, is being held without bail. Yoko Ono, the wife of the slain rock star, says there will be no formal funeral service, but that Lennon's fans and friends will be asked to pray for his soul. CBS News will present a special report about John Lennon tonight at 11:30 Eastern Time.
Thursday, December 11th, a special 2-hour premiere of Magnum P.I. Even with Hawaii as a playground, Magnum's idea of fun is danger. A special 2-hour premiere, December 11th.
Next Tuesday on The White Shadow.
I'm supposed to head a fundraising drive?
Coach Reeves may be in over his head as he tries to get sports stars to come to Carver. Join Rosie Greer, basketball's Elgin Baylor, baseball manager Sparky Anderson, Jimmy J.J. Walker, and more guests. The White Shadow next Tuesday at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
Yeah, I want to say death of John Lennon, but better stated and more accurately stated, the murder of John Lennon really kind of, when I think of one thing in 1980, and there were a lot of different, significant events in that year, many of them kind of pop culture milestones, right? But when I think about 1980, that's one of the first things that comes to mind is the passing of John Lennon, dying at the hands of a crazed fan just outside his residence in New York City. Other events, big events, we boycotted the Olympics. I remember this boycott in 1980. A lot of backlash President Carter got over that decision. And additionally, how can I forget? Pac-Man was released. Ronald Reagan was elected president of the United States, and he would be in office January of 81. CNN was launched mid-1980. Of course, Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, was released. The Earth's population reached 4.4 billion. And I do remember this as well. Pink Floyd's Another Brick in the Wall was banned in South Africa. Just Those lyrics, good gravy. Different time, folks, different time. So let me go ahead and I'm going to go over to SpeakPipe here. And let me see what kind of messages we have real quick. Let me pull this up on the screen. There we go. Sharing my audio. Let's see what we've got here. Look at this. Executive producer Lance Chaffin has left us a message. Let's go ahead and see what he has to say.
Hey, Dave, in 1980, I had two girls in third grade that loved me, and they didn't fight over me. Just let you know that. And have a happy birthday, and let's have a good show tonight. All right, bye.
Thank you so much, Lance. Appreciate that. Let me go ahead and go full screen again. So, folks, what are significant memories that you have of 1980? Let's stay away from movies and TV shows right now, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. I normally don't go with, politics, but we're talking about events. Texas Gina is a Ronald Reagan fan, so that's awesome. And certainly folks can look at Reagan and say, what a communicator he was. He was a great, great communicator when it comes to, and one would expect that from someone who has, was an actor as his prior profession before getting into politics. Let's see. Tom McCluskey says, I was a geek in 1980. Still am. So am I, Tom. Let's see what else we've got here. Yeah, CNN was launched. Boy, oh boy, to think that CNN has been around. So that would make CNN 43 years old right now. Yeah, it's it's no longer a spring chicken. That network has been around for a good long time. One of my favorite songs, Cindy D, My Sharona, The Knack, or Really Flying High in 1980. Boomhauer 89, welcome to the live stream, says the Iran hostage deal. Yeah, that, those hostages were released shortly after President Reagan was inaugurated, which was actually in 81. But we had, of course, they were taken hostage in 1980. And that was a rough thing, Is it LM or IM Tisdale? Either way, says I tried out and made my high school cheerleading squad. Woohoo! All right. That is awesome. I you know what? No cheerleading for me. I was on the high school swim team, but they didn't make us try out. You pretty much, if you were willing to get out there and do the workouts, you could be on the team. But that's great. I'm sure a lot of us have fond memories from high school. Those of us that were in high school or in junior high during 1980. Let's see. Gary Carpenter says in 1980 went to Canada and Niagara Falls in the summer with some friends. What a great trip. What a great trip that would have been. Oh, wow. Was that 1980 when Dorothy Stratton was murdered by her husband? And yes, Air Supply was all over the radio. Holy cow. Let's see what else we got. Channel member Lisa Field says that's when my love for video games started. 1980. So 82, 83 was when the home video game systems, kind of that market crashed. But in 1980, they were flying high. Of course, the Atari VCS, the 2600 system was the system that everybody wanted. Now, a few lucky kids had the Mattel Intellivision system, and it had the superior graphics, but it didn't have as many cool games, in my opinion. Did Eric Carr join KISS in 1980? Very cool. Very cool. Hostages were released, I think, in 81. I really think, and my memory is that Reagan was inaugurated and then they were released. Am I missing that? I might be off on that. Pac-Man Fever for sure. What a fun video game that was. I still remember the very first day I saw a Pac-Man machine in our local arcade, and boy, did I shove quarters into that darn thing. All right. Let's do this. By the way, I have to acknowledge we lost Sinead O'Connor today. I don't know. It was announced today. I don't know if it was today or yesterday. And of course, Sinead, it wasn't 1980 when she rose to prominence. As a matter of fact, Sinead O'Connor's 3 years younger than me, I believe. And so that would mean that in 1980, she was in middle school or graduating from elementary school, somewhere in that general vicinity. But how tough to lose her. And this is shortly after, I think it was about a year and a half ago, she lost her youngest son. And from all reports, Sinead has not been the same since. It really has. It just took everything out of her. And, you know, I lost two sisters. I've mentioned that to you guys before. And as hard as that was on me, my parents, it absolutely wrecked. It destroyed them. And it just was the toughest thing. And so when I think about that, and then I think about what Sinead must have gone through, as I start to understand why she might have chosen to leave us. And I don't know the surroundings of her passing. I don't think it's been announced. If it has, I haven't read it yet. But anyway, I love Sinead. I'm a big fan of Irish music and Irish musicians. And I also think she was incredibly brave. It was in the 90s, right? When she got up on her late 80s, early 90s, when she got up on SNL and tore a picture of the Pope up. And this was in response to all the stuff that was going on with the Catholic Church. And, you know, we all know now, and I'm not trying to diss on any religion. I think, you know, there's a lot of good that the Catholic Church has done, but we also know that there were issues with priests and young children, and she was trying to bring attention to that, and she got a lot of backlash for that, and unfairly, in my opinion. You know what? I think we were quick to be shocked and not try to hear the message that she was trying to share there. And I think we all kind of, at least I do, a little bit bristle. You know, that's probably one of the reasons I stay away from politics on this channel, but bristle when musicians or even actors and try to share their political opinions. But they are human beings, and they're entitled to those opinions. And I think what Sinead was trying to do there, make people aware of something that was going on, was worthwhile. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But what I am going to say is that Sinead O'Connor will be missed. She was a talented musician, had a beautiful voice. Okay. All right, folks, I am going to do this. There's a lot to cover tonight, and so very little time to do so. But let's talk about favorite movies. And I want to just put them up on the screen there. Let's see. Favorite movies. So what I have available here is a list of the top 10 movies of 1980. So right at the very top was, of course, The Empire Strikes Back, followed by 9 to 5, Stir Crazy, Kramer versus Kramer, Clint Eastwood's Any Which Way You Can, Goldie Hawn and Private Benjamin, Coal Miner's Daughter, Smokey and the Bandit 2, The Blues Brothers, one of my faves, and Ordinary People. So my question for you guys is, what was your favorite movie in 1980? So it can be one of those that's on the list, or it can be something else. I've already said, much like Barry King, my favorite movie in 1980 was The Empire Strikes Back, but I want to hear what yours are. So let us go here and see what we have. Here we go. Channel member Lance Chaffin says Flash Gordon was my favorite movie in 1980. Awesome. Awesome. Let's see. That's one of my favorites as well. Now, it was primarily made its money in 1980, but did it not? Maybe I'm remembering wrong. Yeah, I think it was December of 1980, right? Or was it December of 1979? No, it was 80. Okay. What else do we got here? Justin Eilert says, oh, Lord, Eastwood's Chimp movie with Sandra Locke. Yeah, Any Which Way You Can was the sequel to Every Which Way But Loose. Adrian James says Empire Strikes Back and Flash Gordon. Let's see what else we've got. Gary Carpenter, like 9 to 5. Gloop Trekker says the trifecta of comedies: Airplane, The Blues Brothers, and Caddyshack. Tom McCluskey says of that list, only Star Wars. Maud Matilda H, welcome to the live stream, says Escape from New York. And MoviesTube U0675 says, oh, it's The Empire Strikes Back. Raja 1938, I thought Superman 2 came out in 80. It was 81. Still a fantastic movie. Ravenscroft 82 said seems like old time. Caddyshack, Ordinary People. Emily Miller, channel member Emily Miller, if you will, says Kramer versus Kramer, or never saw Kramer versus Kramer. Ordinary People. So these aren't your favorites, Emily. I'm asking what your favorites are, not what you didn't see. Come on, let me know what your favorite is. I want to know. I need to know. I am Tisdale, or LM Tisdale. You can in the chat there let me know if that's an L or an I. That would be helpful. Says The Empire Strikes Back. Very good choice. Yes, Donna Mills is still alive. Empire Strikes Back, says Ravenscroft 82. Channel member Lisa Fields. Marvelous movie. Sam J. Jones. How can you not like it? Topo. Texas Gina says Urban Cowboy. Was that an 80 movie? 1980? Sounds about right. LM Tisdale says also Private Benjamin. Let's see what else we've got here. Lots of folks saying that Donna Mills is still alive. Melissa Foster says, my favorite is Caddyshack. I snuck peeks while at the drive-in with my parents. And Private Benjamin was fantastic, says Daryl Russell. And let's see what else we got here. Channel member Angela McArdle says, didn't see half the movies until I was older. David Thomas says Empire. Let's see. Yes, there was a TV version of Private Benjamin that did not last long. Channel member Tracy Rothmeyer says Blues Brothers. What a marvelous movie. Such good music. Such good music. LM Tisdale says The Shining, but wasn't allowed to watch it. Yeah, that was one I did not see till later as well. Let's see what else we got here. Channel member Lisa Field says Airplane was funny. Johnny Burnett points out Popeye was a great movie and had a wonderful soundtrack. Hey, Claude Sailing, good to have you with us. Let's see. There were a lot of solid films in 1980 for sure. Red Rum. I love it. Let's see what else we've got here. Anyone else? It's L. Thank you so much, LM Tisdale. That's helpful to me. And it is short for Lisa. Awesome. Thanks for joining us tonight. Adrian James says, yes, I remember Popeye, played by the late Robin Williams. He totally inhabited that role, right? He was Popeye. I can't imagine anyone else being Popeye. And truthfully, I can't imagine anyone else being Olive Oyl besides Shelley Duvall. Let's see. Raja 1938 says that Superman 2 was released in December 1980, but only in Australia, and then in 1981 everywhere else. Yeah, I remember it being a kind of a summertime movie in 81. Well, I first thought it was summertime movie 80, but I remember it being this summer when it came out here in the States. All right. Justin Eilert says, I liked Urban Cowboy, but I liked Pam more than Sissy. Okay. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me because I'm going to make a confession. It's a secret shame, but I've never seen Urban Cowboy. I do remember The Mirror Cracked, however, with Elizabeth Taylor and Rock Hudson. Thanks for pointing that one out, Tammy. Yeah, it was a great year for film, for sure, as Ravenscroft 82 points out. All right, so I'm going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and talk about TV shows. So let me go ahead and take this off the screen. I've got some sponsors. We're going to let the sponsors take care of business. And when I say sponsors, kind of, right? These are some vintage sponsors. These are commercials from an era gone by, and I hope you enjoy them. I'll be right back.
It's the smiling, shining feeling, the light of a brand new day. And you're the Pepsi generation, you're the spirit of today. There's a feeling deep inside you, a spirit you just can't hide. And with every taste of life that's new, well, that Pepsi spirit shines right through. It's that Pepsi spirit. Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in. Catch that Pepsi spirit. Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in. It's the love and the laughter, the taste of life the world is after. Catch that Pepsi spirit. Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in.
My mind is pouring Cheerios, hurrah, hurrah. She's pouring on the oats for us, hurrah, hurrah.
Every morning as we get dressed, Mom is pouring what we like best.
My family loves their Cheerios, hurrah, hurrah.
Takes lots of oats to make a bowl, hurrah, hurrah.
It makes the mother feel so good to know they're eating what they should.
Cheerios. It takes over 1,000 oats to make every delicious bowlful. Now that's part of this nutritious breakfast.
Hurrah!
Scruples, the searing bestseller, is now a CBS movie spectacular starring Lindsay Wagner. She was a secretary until her marriage made her one of the richest widows in the world. Suddenly, she controlled an empire of high fashion and movie making. Her money could buy her anything except the man she wanted most, and it made her a target for blackmail and greed. Gavin MacLeod, Barry Bostwick, Ephraim Zimbalist Jr., Connie Stevens, Robert Reed star in Scruples, Monday at 9, 8 Central. It's what can happen when your dreams come true.
This is CBS.
Hi, I'm Priscilla Presley. I used to cut off split ends. Now I help repair them with Wella Balsam Shampoo. Because Wella Balsam Shampoo's special conditioners protect your hair and help repair split ends. What's more, Wella Balsam Shampoo is 100% oil-free, so your hair looks shiny clean, healthy, and beautifully conditioned. Don't cut off split ends. Help repair them with Wella Balsam Shampoo. You love your hair.
All of those commercials, by the way, aired on U.S. television in 1980. I've got another batch of commercials I'll play a little bit later, but I want to get to the question of the evening. This really is the question of the evening. As much as I like talking about events and movies, TV is my bread and butter. It's the thing that I love the most. It's the reason that this channel is what it is. So the question, folks, is what was your favorite TV show in 1980? Let me go ahead and go straight to the comments section, and I'm going to be, well, I'll put this one on the screen while we're waiting. Yeah, Justin, Elvis did know how to pick them. Priscilla is definitely a beautiful lady. I did not realize until I saw that commercial that she had been a hairdresser. Really? Okay, let's see here. David C. says Bosom Buddies was a hilarious show. I really loved it. Peter Scolari, Tom Hanks. What a great cast. Of course, Justin. Hey, I've got a Three's Company question in the trivia for you here, so stick around. I think you'll do pretty well with it tonight. Let's see what else we've got. This is channel member Zooperplex. Says, hard to believe that Priscilla outlived Elvis and their daughter, Lisa Marie. Yeah. And, interestingly, I don't know if you'd read this, but Lisa Marie's passing was actually due to some surgery that she had. She had weight loss surgery, and one of the potential, things you don't want to have happen, but sometimes does have happen is that there was just a complication due to that surgery that caused her, really was the catalyst for her passing at such a young age. All right. Barney Miller says Marianne Lockwood. That's a great show. Different Strokes says CPA Trader 1, one of my favorites. And One Time says, Man, there were so many. There were. It was a great year for television. Now let's look at the top 10 in the US, and then I'll get back to your quest or your favorite shows. Let me go over here real quick and we'll look and see what were the top 10 shows in the US. This is the 1980-81 season. So we have, I think I need to take that off the screen there so we can see them all. Let me take that off the screen. There we go. Number 1 was Dallas, of course. But the Dukes of Hazzard, 60 Minutes, a perennial top 10 hit, right? MASH, The Love Boat, The Jeffersons, Alice, House Calls, Three's Company, and Little House on the Prairie. Oh, what a batch of great shows for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back on the screen. Let's take that off the screen here, and let's go back to everybody's comments. See what folks are saying. Oh, man. Let's see. Gloop Trekker. I loved Galactica 1980 at the time. In retrospect, well, I'm going to leave your comment up on the screen, and I'm going to play this just for you, Gloop Trekker. This is just for you, my friend. I think I have it here. Yes, I do. Instead of a second season for Battlestar Galactica, we got this, Galactica 1980, a show so bad that although there were efforts to make sure that nothing in this show contradicted Season 1 of Battlestar Galactica, many fans refused to consider this thing as canon. And yes, Adama was back, but everyone else was gone. Apparently the budget for the new program, which would reuse Season 1's special effects, was so low that they just simply couldn't afford anyone. Take a look at the TV Guide promo for the premiere of Galactica 1980 and then compare it against the exquisite artwork that was commissioned for those first few episodes of Battlestar Galactica. And it is clear that the budget restrictions also impacted the show's marketing efforts. And I've just got to say that flying motorcycles and Space Scouts, well, they didn't help much either. And then the kid from the Brady Bunch shows up. I'm not going to blame Robbie Rist at all here. It wasn't his fault, not even close. He wasn't half bad as Dr. Z, but still the show's episodes really felt dumbed down from what we were used to with Battlestar Galactica. The one exception to that was Galactica 1980's final episode titled The Return of Starbuck. It was a return to form. A pretty great story and a fitting swan song for this ill-fated TV series. I actually saw this episode years later when it was included in a Battlestar Galactica syndicated package. It was such a great episode that I didn't realize it had been part of Galactica 1980. Alright, now it's your turn. What do you think? Were you a fan of the original Battlestar Galactica? And what did you think of Galactica 1980? Let me know in the comments section, and while you're at it, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and maybe, just maybe, consider subscribing to my channel. I talk about music, movies, and television, mostly from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Well, I say the good stuff there a little bit liberally. Gloop Trekker, I was so excited for Galactica 1980 and then ultimately pretty darn disappointed. Let me get back to some other comments here. I know things are getting out of hand. Buck Rogers, yeah, season 1 was just wrapping up and we were all excited for season 2. Gosh darn it. Let's see. Butch Shump says, I even like season 2. Gary Carpenter says, Alice, Benson, Soap, Laverne and Shirley. Yeah. Cloud Sailing. Star Trek wasn't on, prime time, but it was in reruns. So definitely can be one you enjoyed watching in 1980. Dark Titan says, I pick Heart to Heart. I enjoyed that show as well. Geek Filter. I think Thundar was later on, but says Thundar the Barbarian. Let's see. What else do we have? Channel member Lance Chaffin says Benson. I think it debuted in 1980. I think you are right. What else do we got? Channel member Angela McArdle says Three's Company, Different Strokes. Cindy D says Bosom Buddies. Channel member Lisa Field says Different Strokes. Oh, Kenneth Wilkinson says Alf, but it didn't. It wasn't until later on in the 80s. Let's see. Ravenscroft 82 says probably Barney Miller. Too Close for Comfort did debut in 1980. How can you not love Ted Knight and Super Cow? I love both of those guys, but mostly Ted Knight. Channel member Angela McArdle says Dukes of Hazzard. Yes, indeed. Love Boat, so good. House Calls, and then we've got a little emoji, so maybe that isn't your favorite show. I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to know. Yeah, Wayne Rogers left MASH to star in House Calls. Tammy Patton shares this memory. She says, I loved watching Dallas with my parents. We all had different theories about who shot JR, and I was right. Nice. De Beaumont resident says Dukes. And Superplex, channel member Superplex, says the good old days of the big three. I really miss those days. And it was all free for the rich and poor alike. Yeah, if you were willing to sit through commercials, right? That was the price we paid. Karen Lee says Little House on the Prairie, and Sean Heisler says Fantasy Island. Channel member Lance Chaffin says The Facts of Life. And Butch Shump points out that it was a Rankin Bass animated television movie in 1980 called The Return of the King. I remember that well. One Time agrees with earlier comments about Too Close for Comfort. Yeah, Buck Rogers was great. No doubt about it. Let's see. Channel member Emily Miller says The Love Boat would be my number one, but I love Dallas and MASH as well. Gary Carpenter says Love Boat, Alice, Dallas, Dynasty, Falcon Crest. Were all of those around in 80? I keep thinking Dynasty and Falcon Crest might have been a little later. Oh, here's one that no one's mentioned. 10 Speed and Brown Shoe. And It's a Living. Yes, they both debuted in 1980. Good job. Johnny Burnett points out that Too Close for Comfort debuted in 1980 and then did move on to be a first-run syndicated program from 84 to 87. That final year of the show, I believe it changed its name to the Ted Knight Show. And it would have kept going if not for the tragic passing of Ted Knight. Channel member Lisa Fields points out that It's a Living is on Prime, and I believe it changed its name as well, and for a while became Making a Living. All right. Jay Elsner says, I hated Galactica 1980. I sure didn't love it, and I wanted to. One other thing that, this debuted in the 70s, but was hitting its peak during the 80s, early 80s, and of course during 1980, was a little show called Battle of the Network Stars. So I think we're going to do this. We're going to watch this quick video, and we're going to come back, and we're going to have a drawing for Retro Fan Magazine. Go ahead and find that video. Here it is. I'll be back in 70 seconds. The original Battle of the Network Stars aired from 1976 to 1988. During the competitions, well-known actors and actresses would compete in events such as the swimming relay, tennis, a dunk tank, and the one that decided it all, the tug of war. Within these events, there were some really great moments, not the least of which was the dunk tank competition. If you think about it, this one is kind of silly and not really much of a sporting event at all. Still, I loved it for reasons that would have been obvious to any teenage boy. The year that both Heathers, Locklear, and Thomas were in the dunk tank together was huge. Where else would you get pop singer Debbie Boone, Joyce DeWitt, and from Battlestar Galactica, Maren Jensen together like this? And a shout out has to go to the late great Howard Cosell. I can't remember a time when Cosell didn't treat these entertainers with respect and dignity. When he interviewed Gabe Kaplan, he acted as if he were talking to Muhammad Ali or Bruce/Caitlyn Jenner.
We're the Crime Crusaders. Now buzz off.
No way! You're still the good guys.
Buzz off, rat mite.
I'm staying.
You're going.
Staying.
Going.
Going!
Don't leave yet. There's still a lot to come. We've got trivia in just a little bit. But first, we're going to give away a copy of Retro Fan Magazine. Now, I'm not certain which copy you're going to get. It could be the July copy, or the July edition, which has a cover article on Captain Kangaroo and so many other great articles in it. I've been really enjoying the July issue, but it's possible you could be getting the September issue as well. So let me see. Here's the cover of the September issue. It's all about the British invasion. It's also got a piece on the Mighty Hercules animated show, the Frito Bandito, and of course, Wonder Twins from Super Friends. This is going to be a great issue if that's the one that you end up with. But if you end up with the July edition, you're going to love that one as well. So here's what I need you to do. Let me go ahead and put this on the screen. Let's share my screen. Let's see if that's what I need you to put in the chat. And I am going to, you need to put hashtag retro. And I'm going to put a timer on the screen. And we're going to keep this lean and mean. We're going to keep it right to 30 seconds. So get that in there if you want to be eligible for this particular drawing. For them to send it to you, you do need to be in the United States. But if for some reason you live outside of the United States, the continental U.S., and you win, I'll find something to send you. So everyone's eligible to play. And I hope, I certainly would love to see someone win tonight. And I have a sneaking hunch we'll see at least one person win. Well, we will see one. And that's what happens when I'm just rambling, when I'm just stalling for time. I don't make a lot of sense when it comes to what I have to say. But let's go ahead and do this. We've got 29 entries in there. Are we ready to go? Let me go ahead and click the button, and let's see who our winner is tonight. And the winner tonight is Zuperplex. Congratulations, Zuper, a channel member and a longtime supporter of the channel. So I'm super excited for you to win, my friend. And you know the drill. Here's what I need you to do. Just send me your address. You can send it right here to this email address. And I'm going to leave it only up for about 5 seconds, but of course, you can always pause the live stream or go back later and look it up. But yeah, just send me your full name and address, and I'll get it forwarded on over to the fellers at Tomorrow's Communication, and we'll get you, or Tomorrow's Publishing, and we'll get you a copy of Retro Fan Magazine. Congratulations to you again, Zuperplex. That's awesome. All right. Now let's do this. We're going to do some commercials, and then I'm going to come right back. And we are going to play a little trivia. 80s or 1980, not 80s, 1980 TV trivia. But we've got one more batch of vintage commercials from 1980. And I'll be right back.
You're about to see a 1980 import that can get 100 miles to the gallon. It's got automatic transmission, air conditioning, and more headroom than a Rolls-Royce. But for all the practical reasons you should buy it, the best reason is impractical. It just could be the most fun you've ever had. The 1980 Honda Express.
Follow the leader, he's on a Honda.
Natural sounds go into my music. And they sound natural on TDK. It's not just a cassette. It's a little music machine that delivers the best sound for its size I've ever heard.
TDK, the amazing music machine.
Premiering next Wednesday, Beyond Westworld. The question, how do you kill a man who may be a machine?
Special security agents battle to stop a scientific genius whose human-like robots are programmed to endanger the world.
I have an impregnable army of loyal and unquestioning troops.
He's planted one of those robots on a nuclear submarine. The mission, locate and destroy it. But you can't tell who's real or who's robot. Beyond Westworld, premiering next Wednesday at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
This is CBS.
Meet Jeannie, Annie, Madge, and Deirdre. They dare to do what others dream of.
They're looking good like foxes.
They're foxes.
Dancing to the music all night long.
Jodie Foster, Scott Baio, Foxes. Rated R.
Starts Friday at the Hollywood Pacific, Plaza Westwood, and selected theaters.
You know, folks, I'm feeling a little crazy tonight. Let's give away another copy of Retro Fan Magazine. Let me add this back to the stream here. And I'm going to draw again. So you don't need to put hashtag retro in the chat unless you didn't the first time and you want to be part of the drawing this time. So I'm going to click this. Well, I'll give folks about 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's draw again. Gary Carpenter, another name that, boy, Gary's here every week and always showing his support. So that's phenomenal. Gary, I think I have had your address in the past, but if you can send it to me again, let me go ahead and put my email address back up on the screen one more time. I'll make sure that the folks at Retro Fan Magazine have your address as well, and congratulations to you. That's awesome. Okay, let me go ahead and take that off the screen. Take this off the screen. We're down to trivia, folks. If you like playing trivia, stick around. It's a 5-question mini trivia tonight. And if you're done, if you don't enjoy the trivia, well, thank you so much for hanging out this evening. You know what? When I have these live streams and I see all the engagement in the chat, and not only just, I love the questions, but I love the support that everybody gives each other. I mean, this really feels like a true community. So thanks to those folks that may not want to stick around for trivia. But if you do, I've got 5 questions. And we'll get started right here, right now. Let me add this to the stream. There we go. Question number 1. And the way we do this is if you want to put your answer in the chat, feel free to do so. Or you can just kind of, think about them in your head. I think after maybe the 3rd question, I'll get scores, and then we'll do it again at the end. Let me go ahead and get my timer ready too, so that we can do this. All right. 5 questions about 19 TV programs in 1980, right? Let's get rolling. Question number 1. On BJ and the Bear, what was BJ's last name? I'm going to start my timer. Was it McGee, McKay, McKee, or McRae? Again, on BJ and the Bear, what was BJ's last name? Was it McGee, McKay, McKee, or McRae? Take a swig of the Diet Coke and then I'll share the answer. I think most of you know this one. His name is BJ McKay, and that is his best friend Bear. All right, question number 2. Moving on. On Different Strokes, who played Mr. Drummond's daughter, Kimberly? Was it Dana Plato, Jill Whalen, Christy McNichol, or Nancy McKeon? Again, On Different Strokes, who played Mr. Drummond's daughter, Kimberly? Was it Dana Plato, Jill Whelan, Christy McNichol, or Nancy McKeon? All right, we'll let that timer go down. Again, feel free to put your answer in the chat or just kind of lock it in your noggin. Take the timer off the screen. Correct answer is, of course, Dana Plato. Question number 3. On the Dukes of Hazzard, what name did Roscoe P. Coltrane's dog go by? Was it Bernie, Fanny, Flash, or Spot? Again, on the Dukes of Hazzard, what name did Roscoe P. Coltrane's dog go by? Was it Bernie, Fanny, Flash, or Spot? Thanks for the Diet Coke, Lance. I appreciate it, my friend. Very kind of you. Correct answer is Flash. All right. I'm going to go to question 4 screen there, but we're not going to ask it yet because I want to get scores. I want to see how everybody's doing. I suspect that a lot of you are going to be 3 for 3, but let's see how you're doing. And I see that Ian, my buddy, Ian Carlin, ENC, a.k.a. Mr. Retro Cereal, is in the house. Great to have you here, Ian. I hope all is going well with your, he's a newly married man. So he's got an instant family and working hard for a living. It's great to have you with us, Ian. Thanks for joining us this evening. All right, let me go here and let's see if we can get some scores here. Let's go. We got Justin Eilert at 2 for 3. Channel member Angela McArdle, 3 for 3. Channel member Emily Miller, 3 for 3. Tammy Patton, 3 for 3. Lamont Bradford, 2 for 3. Channel member Lisa Fields, 3 for 3. Claude Sailing is just having fun, hanging out with us. Marianne Lockwood, 3 for 3. Gloop Trekker, 3 for 3. Matt Sweeney, 3 for 3. Alo Duarte, 1 of 3. Media Archive Mike, 2 for 3. Dolph Quick, 3 of 3. Cindy D, 3 for 3. Melissa Foster, 2 for 3. Not too shabby at all. I thought folks would do well with this one. Let's see. Kristen Davis is 3 for 3. Ms. Elizabeth, 3 for 3. I can believe it. Gary Carpenter, 3 for 3. Tom McCluskey, 3 for 3. Dark Titan, 3 for 3. De Beaumont Resident, 3 for 3. Maud Matilda H, 3 for 3. Story Comic. Hi, how you doing, Barney? Good to have you with us this evening. 3 for 3. Tracy Roth Myers, 3 for 3. Can't wait to have you back, Ian. The internet and YouTube just isn't the same without you, so it'll be good to have you back. And I think we're... Well, I probably do, Gary. I probably do have your address in my files. But if I remember right, there was some confusion around your street address, so I just love to get some clarification on that. But I can dig it up if you aren't able to send it to me. Kenneth Wilkinson, 2 of 3. All right. So there we go. We've got our scores in. Let's keep rolling here. Question number 4. Who was the star of the short-lived TV sitcom 1 in a Million? Was it Jimmy Walker, Michael J. Fox, Michelle Pfeiffer, or Shirley Hemphill? Again, who was the star of the short-lived TV sitcom 1 in a Million? That's what makes this question tough, is some of you may not remember 1 in a Million, which did debut in 1980, and I don't believe made it to 1981. But was it Jimmy Walker, Michael J. Fox, Michelle Pfeiffer, or Shirley Hemphill that was the star of that show? I take this off the screen, and the correct answer, folks, is Shirley Hemphill. You may remember her from What's Happening. All right, one more question. Question number 5. On Three's Company. I told you, Justin, that we'd have a Three's Company question, and this is just easy breezy walk in the park for a guy like you. Who was not an original roommate on the show? Was it Cindy, Chrissy, Jack, or Janet? Again, on Three's Company, who was not one of the original roommates on the show? Was it Cindy, Chrissy, Jack, or Janet? This has been fun tonight, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. All right, correct answer is, of course, Cindy, played by Jenny Lee Harrison. She she was an interim character while they tried to figure out what to do with Suzanne Summers leaving the show. Okay. Let me get over to comments and we'll get final scores. Put this on the screen. How did you do? Now, of course, you can tell me how you did in the chat. If you're watching this on the replay later on, let me know how you did in the comments section. Okay, let's see some scores here. Ravenscroft, 5 for 5. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And Justin's throwing a little trivia out there. Original roommate before Jack was Eleanor. Yep. Well done, Justin. I did not remember her name. You have you watched the pilot recently? I wonder. Okay. Let's see. Marianne Lockwood, 4 or 5. Lisa, channel member Lisa Fields, it has been fun. It's been a great evening. Angela McArdle, channel member Angela McArdle, perfect tonight. 5 for 5, not too shabby indeed. Channel member Lisa Fields, 5 for 5. Luke Trekker, 5 for 5. Du Beaumont resident is 4 of 5. Maud Matilda H is 5 of 5. Look at that. Tom McCluskey sharing the trivia as well. Dark Titan, 5 of 5. Raja 1938, 5 of 5. Maybe this one was too easy. Tammy Patton, 5 of 5. Lamont Bradford, 4 of 5. I did like Cindy's character. I thought she was kind of great, although Terry was great too. Let's see what we've got here. Danny Staten, 5 of 5. Good job, Dan. Cindy D, 5 for 5. Ms. Elizabeth, a.k.a. Music Girl 67, 5 of 5. Media Archive Mike, 3 of 5. Yeah, if you weren't even around in 1980, well done, my friend. Gary Carpenter, 5 of 5. Tracy Roth Myers, 4 for 5. Channel member Emily Miller, 5 of 5. And I meant to say channel member Tracy Roth Myers as well. Tom McCluskey, 4 for 5. Let's see. Any more scores? Dolph Quick, 5 of 5. Melissa Foster, 4 of 5. Alo Duarte, 2 of 5. First full year of college. Yeah, you were probably thinking about other things. Barney's 5 of 6. Nicely done, Barney. Well done. I love it when there's some creative accounting that takes place with these quizzes, because really only you know how you did, right? And if there was an opportunity for a potential 6th point, I'm glad you recognized it, Barney. Wonderful. By the way, Story Comic. If you guys want to see someone who is really a master at interviewing people and bringing really eclectic, creative people on his show, check out Story Comic. Go click on his, just do a search in YouTube on Story Comic. You'll find his channel, his podcast, and I think you'll enjoy Barney's podcast, which he has here on YouTube as well. It's good stuff. Let's see. Kenneth Wilkinson was 3 of 5. Any more scores? I think that's it. So, folks, we are hitting the hour mark, and that's what I wanted to keep it at tonight. Keep it lean and mean. Congratulations to our drawing winners tonight, Superplex and Gary Carpenter. That's awesome. And you know what? I've got to say thank you right now to, I just see popping in on the screen, I've got a new channel member. We've got Jason Goldtrap, longtime community member, frequently here during the live streams. Thank you so much for becoming a channel member, Jason. Truly appreciate that. I got to find a way to say thank you to you real quick here. Let me see. What do we got here? How about Adam West? I'm feeling Batman-y tonight.
Thank you. 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 Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you. And I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on the live stream. It's been a lot of fun. You're a special group of people. And it's a tradition at this point for me to bring on Fred Rogers to express just how I feel about each one of you and these opportunities that we have to get together during my live streams.
You are special.
again, Jason, for your channel membership, and thanks to each one of you for hanging out with me this evening. You truly are, as Fred Rogers says, you're truly special. I'm very lucky to have such a great community. Hope you all have a great week, and we'll talk to you all soon. Take care.